4 years later, a juror in the Greg Kelly trial says they got it wrong.
He signed his life away for 25 years because we convicted him.
A mother devastated after a drunk driver hits and kills her son, his unborn baby, and critically injures his girlfriend.
I never thought it would happen to my son.
And an Austin favorite painted over. The plans for the mural going forward now at 5.
This is KVUE News at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Terry Gruca.
And I'm Mike Rush.
Tension inside a jury room. A man who helped convict Greg Kelly is talking publicly for the first time amid new questions about whether someone else may have committed the crime that sent Kelly to prison for 25 years.
That juror describes the emotional deliberations and how he fought to acquit Kelly of sexually abusing a 4-year-old boy. Tony Plohetsky is here now with this joint KVUE Defenders Austin American Statesman exclusive.
Mike and Terry, that man still lives in Williamson County. He blames his fellow jurors, all 11 of them, for pressuring him to find Greg Kelly guilty. He says they were exhausted after 11 hours of deliberations and ready to go home. But in the end, that juror, who calls himself the last holdout, is convinced they made a wrong call that put an innocent man behind bars. We tried reaching every juror in the case. This man agreed to discuss the deliberations as long as we didn't show his face. He still has children at Leander High School, where Kelly was once a high school football star. He says he was shocked as jurors began voting to convict Greg Kelly.
And I was trying to bring up points of, were y'all watching the same trial I was? Tried to convince them. One juror asked, well, what's going to happen now? That really enraged me because, you know, well, I got up and got right in her face, and I told her, I said, do you not understand what he just did? He signed his life away for 25 years because we convicted him.
After the jury convicted Kelly on a charge of super aggravated sexual assault, he entered into an agreement with prosecutors in which he must serve a minimum of 25 years instead of the life sentence he was facing. Last week, Greg Kelly was transferred to the Williamson County Jail to help his defense team get ready for a hearing in August, when he will try to have his conviction overturned. That juror tells me he constantly thinks of Greg Kelly and his life behind bars. But there is someone else involved in the case that has stuck in his mind in these 4 years since the trial. I'll have that coming up on KVUE News at 6. Mike and Terry.
Thanks, Tony. A tragic accident over the weekend kills a man on his motorcycle, critically injures his pregnant girlfriend, and kills their unborn baby.
This man, Cesar Corona Quitera, is charged with intoxication manslaughter and intoxication assault. He is still in the Travis County Jail on a combined bond of $2 million. KVUE's Christy Millward continues our coverage today. Christy, you spoke to the mother of the man who died today.
Terry and Mike, I did. Patricia Morales came here to the hospital today to talk to her son's girlfriend. Now, that girlfriend, we're told, is in critical condition, went through surgery today, and doctors may now have to amputate her leg. Now, both families are just trying to cope with this tragic situation.
You know, I see all these stories about people getting killed by drunk drivers, and I never thought it would happen to me. I never thought it would happen to my son.
Patricia Morales is trying to cope with the loss of her son. Raul Diaz died over the weekend after an apparent drunk driver hit the motorcycle he was riding on with his girlfriend, Stephanie Soto. She is in the hospital in critical condition.
Well, I'm here to talk to her. I just want to know my son's last moment.
The crash also took the life of the couple's unborn daughter. She would have been Morales' first grandchild.
He knew I've been looking forward to this, you know, to my granddaughter. And, you know, we have a room full of all these great things for her, all these beautiful bowls and stuff.
She's really excited. She was excited for having a girl.
KVUE spoke with Veronica Carl, who worked with Soto at a restaurant in Kyle.
You could tell they were in love. They were always smiling together and laughing. He really loved her.
Morales worries what Soto will do now.
She was waitressing and stuff. She was making good money, but now that that they're going to amputate her leg. I don't know how she's going to support herself.
She says her son was also working hard, helping his father, who has cancer.
I think my son was the sweetest person on earth. That he was working so hard for his family.
Even though several people were on motorcycles this weekend for the Rot Rally, Morales says her son wasn't part of that. She says he borrowed a motorcycle from a friend.
They were just riding around having fun, and this happened.
Something that has changed all of their lives forever.
I don't know, I just want my son back.
Morales tells me she is now trying to arrange funeral plans. There are 2 GoFundMe pages, one for those funeral expenses, the other for these medical bills. You can find a link to both of those on our website at KVUE.com. Live in downtown, Christy Millward, KVUE News.
And a quick reminder to drive alive, Austin. Do not drink and drive. 2 people in Kyle are accused of stealing more than $300,000 in checks along with a dozen credit cards. Police say Joshua McGlasson and Melissa Moncada were caught during a welfare check. This all started when Kyle police got a call about the pair being passed out in the parking lot of a gas station for a long time. When the police started to question them, officers found drugs in the car along with cash. Investigators say they also found several bags of mail. The mail belonged to people from Cedar Creek, Dale, Maxwell, Kyle, Buda, San Marcos, and Austin. Some of the packages contained checks and credit cards. Investigators say the mail was taken from both homes and businesses. Police believe that as many as 500 people could have had their mail stolen, some without even knowing it.
Talk a lot about the weather this week, and that right there, hot weather ahead. Nathan Gogo joins me now here in the Storm Center. Sounds like the heat index is going to be brutal this week.
Yeah, the summer heat certainly building in, ready or not, right? Yeah. It's always this time of year, the faucet turns off and the thermometer rises, and that's what we're expecting as we head through the rest of this week. Temperatures ranging from basically the low to mid 90s each day, even upper 90s as we head towards the weekend. And of course, you factor in the humidity. 95 feels a lot different here in Austin than it does, say, in Arizona. And that's why we talk about the heat index. It's going to feel even warmer than what the thermometer actually says. So highs out there right now, or earlier today, 94 in Austin, 91 in San Marcos and in Georgetown. But heat index values were even warmer than that in the upper 90s. So 94 still at this hour at Berkshire and at Camp Mabry, but you factor in the humidity, feeling like 96. So not all too crazy for this time of year. Certainly this is the type of weather we're used to be seeing in June as we head towards mid-June. 94 right now in Bastrop, 90 in Giddings. As we head through the rest of this evening, we'll see partly cloudy skies and temperatures dropping into the mid-70s, eventually low 70s waking up for tomorrow. We'll talk more about full forecasts and chances of rain for tomorrow, and who could see that in a few minutes.
See you then. Thanks, Nathan. The original artist behind a beloved mural in East Austin is getting the opportunity to create a new work of art. You may remember this mural at the intersection of 12th and Chacon was painted over last month, and it caused quite a firestorm among neighbors and online.
But the mural now has a new owner. New at 5, KVUE's Rebecca Trejo shows us the new project taking shape.
The wall is being painted over black before any new mural can be painted over it. From there, leaders will seek community feedback.
Slowly but surely, black paint covers this white wall. But a month ago, this paint completely covered a work of art.
I had characters in there like James Brown, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley.
Created by Austin artist Chris Rogers, a welcome sight among East Austin neighbors for 3 years. The wall, once owned by Las Cruces, reached an agreement with Six Square, Austin's Black Cultural District.
And one of those agreements included that Six Square would take conservatorship over the wall in question.
A quote from Thurgood Marshall will be painted on the wall before Juneteenth.
At a time in our history when the streets of the nation's cities inspire fear and despair rather than pride and hope, it is difficult to maintain objectivity and concern for our fellow citizens. And recognizing the humanity of our fellow beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute.
Following Juneteenth, artist Chris Rogers says he'll paint a new mural with community input.
Rather than me just coming back and immediately starting to paint something up, inviting the community to hear their voices so they can feel like they're a part of this.
Las Cruces, the former owner of the wall, did not return our request for comment today. Rogers, working now with Six Square, says the shop's owner made restitution for having the mural whitewashed last month.
Six Square will have conservatorship of the wall through 2021. In East Austin, Rebecca Trejo, KVUE News.